Get started. Welcome to the April Home and School meeting. Everyone's pretty familiar at this point with the ground rules, but just want to make sure you understand everyone joins these meetings on mute. We will go through an update from President McKenna about what's going on at the school. Tonight, we're going to also talk about Title I compliance, and Dr. Scott and our representative from the FACE office will take us through that. We're also going to get update from the Health Resource Room coordinator, and then we'll run through some general HSA information and updates. Please remember to use the chat to sign in with your name and email address and your student's name and year. And with that, I will turn it over to Tim.
Great. Thanks, Heidi. It's good to be with everyone tonight. Unfortunately, I don't have any fancy slides. It has been a busy week at Central. A lot going on, as you can kind of imagine. So let me go through some general stuff, and then I'll get to reopening and try to answer some questions, because I'm sure there will be many questions around that. So our student association has done a great job of trying to create symposiums and do different activities. So I wanted to share this Friday is the first CAB day, which is a community building day. So work will be asynchronous with teachers, and students are invited to participate in sessions. So I please ask you to make sure that your children are participating in these symposiums. Teachers and students have designed them. Miss Snyder, one of our teachers, is going to do a cooking class to teach how to cook different things. She's a great chef. So, and then we have different conversations that'll be held and facilitated by student leaders and also by different faculty members. Mr. Quinn's doing about elections and voting. So it should be a fun day. We're trying to build these days in to keep students engaged, to interact with other students that they don't interact with virtually every day. And I was very proud of the students who have come to us with this idea. We're hopeful that this will go very well, and we can expand that and do more in May. And then also after final grades go in, we want to do symposium days on multiple days so that students can interact with other students and learn from each other. We have incredibly talented children that I work with every day, and you know that because you're their parents, and they have a lot to share, and we want to give them opportunities to do so. So that is this Friday all morning. On April 28th, we have a poetry reading day. So we're asking students to share a video of them reading their favorite poem. I will be participating. The students asked me to participate, so I will post I'll tweet it out. So if you're interested and you follow me on Twitter, you'll get to hear my favorite poem. The Asian Pacific Islanders Union will be doing a showcase starting next week. They have multiple events, and they're going to be running symposiums next Friday afternoon on the 23rd. So we invite students to participate in that event as well. In May, there's going to be a Cinco de Mayo dress down day for our school on May 5th. May 12th, what does your name mean is something that the SA team is working, the students, they want to do. It's a social media activity. So they're trying to use social media for students connecting. We're doing symposiums so students can interact and learn from each other and from faculty members. So the SA team has done a great job. They're coming up with new and creative ideas, and we're going to support them as much as we can. AP testing. So the following 5 courses, if your children take AP French, Spanish, music theory, Italian, or Chinese, those assessments will be given at Central High School. The teachers will share the dates and times. All other AP assessments will be given online. So AP teachers will be sharing that information if they haven't already, but I wanted to let you all know some will be virtual. And the assessments will be given online the way they were last year, and those 5 will be given in school just because of technology requirements. Sports update, congratulations to our girls varsity tennis team that won the public league championship. They won the singles and the doubles titles, so we're very proud of the girls tennis team. We have athletics up and running. Our boys football team and our boys basketball team had to shut down because of COVID. But you know, they're up back and practicing, and I see them out on the field, and baseball is now starting. So it feels good to see students out on our playing fields and interacting and socializing together. So that will continue into May. Congratulations to Ali Shabazz, member 280th class. He was named the school district senior of the month. So we had back-to-back winners, March and April. Allie's a terrific young man. I was very proud of him. He is a National Merit finalist, and he hasn't made his decision yet on college. We had a long conversation about that, but I'm sure he's picking from a number of top schools. So very proud of Allie. So school reopening. When you got that email telling you that school was going to reopen for 6th through 9th grade, I got the email at the same time, as did our teachers. So I had no prior knowledge that that was coming. In fact, you know, I had an inkling that I thought teachers might be invited to come back to school before the end of the year, but quite frankly, I never thought that we'd be inviting any students back in. I just didn't. I was wrong. So I can give you some basic information, what I know. I have a meeting on Friday morning. I had a 2-hour meeting this morning. I have another meeting on Friday morning with officials from down at 440 to try to get as much information as I can, but I can share this with everyone. A link will be sent to all 9th grade parents, and you will have the option for hybrid learning. So that you'll have to opt in if you want your child to be in the hybrid learning plan. So they would either be at school Monday and Tuesday or Thursday and Friday. We will determine that after we see the numbers and see how many students want to opt in. If your child wants to remain virtual, they have that option as well. They can remain fully virtual. Teachers will be back in the building beginning April 26th. That day is a Monday. That day will be fully asynchronous for students because teachers will be going through safety protocol training, and also they need time to prepare their classrooms as we get ready for students to return. We actually have 48 different teachers that teach at least one 9th grade class. Now, I was actually surprised by that number. That's almost half the faculty teaches at least one 9th grade class. So we have many areas that need to be prepared, many classrooms that need to be prepared to welcome students back. As of May 10th, the Friday half-day schedule will switch to Wednesday because that will be the deep clean day where no one will be in the building except admin. So again, that doesn't start until the week of May 10th, but as of that week, we will switch to half day, and I'll send this out all out in writing as well. But May 10th is the week we will switch from Friday half day to Wednesday half day because of the hybrid learning schedule. We will not be altering our daily schedule. The daily schedule that we run right now, it ends at 2:25, and then we have CPT and office hours on Tuesday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. That the only change we will make is that half day, switching from Friday to Wednesday. So I want to be clear about that. School will start at 8 o'clock online. In the virtual, the same schedule the students have been running, we will continue to run that schedule. We're not going to change any of the times. We're not going to change the times of the periods. There'll still be 5-minute breaks between classes, and school will still end at 2:25. So I know that was a question that was brought up earlier in the executive board meeting. I just want to relay that to you. Some schools are changing their schedule, but we are not. The only change we will make is from the Friday half day, we'll switch it to the Wednesday half day. So let me go on. So that's really what I have right now in terms of reopening. More information will be coming. Teachers will be COVID tested every week. Students are scheduled to be tested and this is the elementary schools that have already been back, every 5 weeks, but we won't be back in school for 5 weeks. So I don't know if that will affect students with student testing, but teachers will be tested weekly. I know that. New students, if you have children that are coming to Central next year in the 284 or they're a transfer student, I've mailed out a letter today, hard copy of a letter with all the information that the new students want. I also electronically emailed it to every email address we had from students who applied to come to the school that were accepted and accepted seats. So if you have a new student, they should either get an email with the letter, the link to the letter, or they will get a hard copy mailed directly to your home. So I just wanted to put that out because it has information about multiple things that are happening for new students. Summer school. Central High School will be a summer school site for the first time in our school's history. I found that out last week. So students that need to earn credits because for whatever reason this year they were not successful, they will be able to come to Central High School and earn up to 3 credits. Our roster team and counselors will be contacting students directly with that information and registering them, but they will have the opportunity to come back, and we will have students from other schools coming to our school. We are one of the citywide sites. The district is opening multiple sites because they are expecting more students are going to need that 5th quarter, they're calling it. So if your child does need to make credits up, or earn credits because of what happened this year, they will have an opportunity to do so at our school, which I'm happy about. This is one of the benefits of putting air conditioning in our classrooms. Quite frankly, we were never selected because we didn't have air conditioning, but we were able to do that a couple years ago, and now we can support students even in the summer. So I'm excited about that. AP and IB assessments were given to multiple students who wanted to take classes next year. I know that's another question that's come up. That process will be completed by the end of April. We gave the departments till the end of April. Some are ahead of other departments, but all of that information about next year's courses will be released by the end of this month. And the students will be directly contacted from the departments when they find out that information. The final thing on my list is pretty significant. Graduation is changing. I know this is for seniors. It will not be at the Mann Music Center. I met with my assistant superintendent today. We do not have time to get the resolution in front of the school board and voted upon. It wouldn't get in front of them until May 20th. And quite frankly, that's too close to graduation and they don't have to approve it. So we have already engaged in conversations with LaSalle University. We could use our parking lot, walk right onto the campus and use their stadium. So I have not finalized that contract with them, but I am in conversations with them. Ms. Harrington, one of the assistant principals, has also walked the property, met with the athletic director and multiple members of the team at LaSalle. They are open to supporting us. We would still get our same date, June 9th at 10 a.m. Girls High would be late afternoon because this decision to move from the Mann Music Center is definitely going to affect Girls High as well because we were partnering. So I'm excited about LaSalle. I think it's still a great site. It's different. We will have a stage. The students would be on the field, and parents could be in the stands. It is open air, and I know that we'd have to have a rain date. But every high school in the city is having an open air graduation this year. So this is something that we're dealing with the COVID situation, obviously the pandemic. And for safety, it's probably safer to be in a fully open air stadium kind of a situation. So that's where we are with that. I am working with LaSalle. I'm trying to finalize details, and I will follow up with more details as they become available. So I can answer any questions. If anybody has any questions for me, I'm sure there may be some.
Yeah, we've got a couple.
Okay.
First question is, will Central also host the summer bridge that the district mentioned for rising 9th and 10th graders?
I believe so. Yes. Central's going to do their own. We're going to do our own summer bridge program for certain students. But the district, from what the official I was speaking with from 440 this morning said to us, we were supposed to have all programs. So we're supposed to have ESY program, which were for students with special needs. We are supposed to have the fifth quarter, they're calling it, for students who need to do credit recovery and earn credits. And then I believe the summer transition programs for 9th and 10th graders will be at school. And then also there's an opportunity for, I believe, 10th through 12th graders to apply or to join the RESA program at University of Pennsylvania. So parents should read that information because there's a lot of offerings for students to participate in programs this summer. The district is projecting to have almost 14,000 students participating in different programs this summer. So please review that. I believe that the summer transition program for 9th and 10th graders will be at Central. It will be with students from all around the city, though. It will not just be for Central students that are coming to Central next year. So that you should be aware of that. And I do not know what that program looks like because we've never had it before. But those questions will be answered as we move forward with more clarity when they give me more information.
Okay. There's a couple more here. One is there any chance for a senior event since prom for juniors was canceled last year?
Great question. So I met with senior leaders this week on Tuesday afternoon with members of the admin team, and we are developing a proposal that we are putting forward to do something in our new beautiful parking lot. But I guess that didn't sound too beautiful, a parking lot. But we're talking to a company to do some tenting, to put 2 tents out there, to support some local businesses with catering. Obviously, it would be boxed, kind of students would have to pick something and we would have it boxed and have sodas and water. So we are planning, and we are going to present a proposal to the assistant superintendent and to the chief of schools who have to approve the event. So we've been given the go ahead to create a proposal. and we are going to try to do an end of the year senior celebration for our seniors in some way. So yes, I'm supporting it. The students are excited. They're working on a proposal with Ms. Harrington and Ms. Kincaid, the senior class sponsor. We're going to submit it. Hopefully it gets approved and we can move forward with something that will be different, but it's been a different year and the 280 deserves everything we can do for them. So my plan is to try to make that happen. Great question.
Okay, next question. How many tickets are going to be available for graduation?
Right now, it's one student and one parent. It hopefully will expand to two parents. It depends on what happens on April 30th. We're still about 200 to 300 short for two parents and a student. My hope is that, like I said, April 30th, that they will lessen restrictions because hopefully our COVID cases are going down. And if that's the case, it would be two. This is one of the issues you have when you run such a large school. We could have done two graduations, but I didn't think that was fair to do. So hopefully we will stream the graduation out so that family members can see it. I mean, there's usually a core group of 100 members of the Alumni Association that come every year, and I've already told them they're not invited this year. So it's difficult. It's challenging. And you know, last year was tough, and we did the best we could with a virtual graduation, fully virtual. But I feel like we need to do something special, and I'm hoping that we can expand the number of tickets. It's really it's not my call. It's more of, and quite frankly, even the Mann Music Center they were only offering us 1,200 seats. They're less than what LaSalle was offering us. So we're hoping that the restrictions get lessened at the end of the month, and we can offer 2 seats per student, maybe more if it gets better. I know that's not great news. I'm a parent as well, but just being totally transparent and honest with everyone.
Okay. Can you provide an update about the status of the Keystones?
I believe Keystones are honestly, Dr. Height, I read an article with Kristen Graham, and he said that he doesn't think we're giving Keystones in May. So I'm going to go on his word on that. So I don't think we're giving Keystones in May. I will tell you that I know that the federal waiver is only given to us, or state waivers, until next September 30th. So when we get back next year, we're going to have to assess students with the Keystones. It's still a graduation requirement. So I believe, again, this could change. I believe that we won't do Keystones until next September.
Okay. Question about the status of how the tennis courts are coming.
The tennis courts right now, I met with a civil engineering firm that are working to figure out what groundwater runoff systems we need to get through the water department permitting. So that's where we are right now. Meliori is the civil engineering company that we're working with. They did all of the parking lot underground drainage for the phase 1 construction. So they're working with the company that we're going to engage with for the tennis court. So that's where we are. We're trying to get that done because we have to pull permits, obviously. So, you know, we're moving. Probably not as fast as all of our tennis players want, but we are moving on the project.
Okay. What is the expectation for students who opt in to return on May 10th, the 9th graders, in terms of lunch?
We'll be offering lunch we'll be offering lunch because we have 7 lunches. We feel like, I believe that we're going to be cleared to have regular lunches. The students will just be separated by tables. We won't have as many tables.
Okay.
So
yeah. Can you confirm that is the last day of school June 11th?
Is that Friday? Yes, I believe that is the last day of school. I'm not 100% sure, but you can look the calendar. I know that the 9th, 10th, and 11th.
That's correct.
Okay,
Yeah.
There you go.
And then are there going to be any summer programs offered for rising seniors?
For rising from junior to senior year?
Yeah.
I believe that Penn program, the RISA RSSA program, I believe that's for 11th to 12th grade.
Okay.
I believe that, yeah, University of Pennsylvania is offering a program. That's the one I know of. There's no transition program from 11th to 12th though, from the district.
Okay. And then are there going to be any sort of orientation or tours offered for the 9th graders since they haven't been in the school before?
I had conversations with Mr. Steinberg, who's the president of the Alumni Association. He gives the tours, so I already had a conversation with him about doing something with the students that come back. Are we talking about the hybrid students?
Yes.
In the summer, we definitely want to do some work. We're actually, I had some conversations with some students about doing some like 283 welcome back day before school starts, just to get back and reorient in the building. So we want to do some things in the summer when we get clearance to do so. But for me, it's an unknown because I don't know how many students are going to opt in for hybrid. Basically it'll be 10 days in the school. I mean, it's 5 weeks, it's 2 days a week. So we're going to do our best to get the students in the building and get them around the building, give them tours, and we'll have multiple teachers in the hallways to give them directions when they need it. Because I know some students are not going to know where they're going when they get here, because it's a big school.
Yeah.
So,
okay, another question. How is the neighborhood / bus / walking safety being addressed? Is there any improvement or updates since the conversations that took place after the shooting?
I had a meeting with State Rep Parker this week, with the chief of SEPTA Police, with the Captain Zimmerman of the 35th, Inspector Thomas, who oversees Northwest Philadelphia, multiple educational leaders, Lisa Misi, who's the principal of Girls High, Colleen Hanisch, the president of LaSalle University, was there. We actually asked for the meeting and met with them. We talked about safe corridors. We talked about adding support with cameras up from Worcester Street all the way down to Broad and Alany. So we're putting pressure on the law enforcement leaders in the area to give us safe corridors for specific amounts of time. We're talking about it. The chief of SEPTA has said that they have people on the platforms in that area. They're a constant presence. The 35th Police Captain Zimmerman, gave us details about how he wants to deploy supports. We let them know that we will have students at Girls High and Central back on May 10th. So we will be following up with them, and we're going to create a safety committee. That was one of the discussions we had, so we can communicate better around what's going on in the neighborhood. So that's where we are with that. But it's definitely a conversation. I was in the building when 7 people were shot at 3 o'clock. So I clearly, and I've been in Central long enough to know that there's a lot of things going on. And, law enforcement honestly said to us that there's major issues with social media. And these shootings, a lot of them are tied to social media, where basically young people start arguments, and it's scary. I've lived in the city my entire life, and I don't remember it being like this. I don't know if it's pandemic related or what, but I don't want to get on a soapbox. There's too many guns in this city. I think people know that, and it's scary. But as a school leader, I take it serious. I've been working with Colleen Hanisch from LaSalle and with Lisa Misi, and we're pushing the agenda. We need help, and we want help, and we want law enforcement to know that our expectation is you're going to be there for us. So we basically told them that. And State Rep Parker was terrific, and she's pledged to give us support. And she took a lot of notes, and she said she was going to go back and speak with people, and Councilwoman Bass and other city leaders to make sure that our students are safe.
Okay, thanks. A couple more. If a 9th grader goes back in person and later feels more comfortable online, can they switch back to online only?
It's a great question. I was asked that question in the executive board meeting earlier tonight. I don't know the answer to that, but I will ask that question. I mean, honestly, as a parent, I have a 7th grader that I'm going to opt in, and if she goes back and she's not happy, I don't know the answer. I don't want to say that they can, but if your child doesn't come back and they're still virtually attending, as a parent, not as the president of Central, I would tell you they're not going to be penalized, but I don't know the answer, so I'll ask the question this week when I meet with officials on Friday. I'll try to get an answer, and I'll get it to Heidi, and she can get it out to parents.
Thanks. Question about 7th period lunch, if it's going to look different for those students or if it's the same as it's been.
7th period, does that mean that they could leave?
Yeah.
So I don't know how many freshmen are coming back and have 7th period lunch. So I guess we'll just, we'll deal with that. We'll figure that out when we figure out how many students. Traditionally, they fill out a form, but if we get some 9th graders in the building, I probably would try to convince them to stay from 2:25 to 3 o'clock, just so we can do some work with them and get them oriented in the building. So, because they're only going to be there, like I said, 10 days. I'm open to letting them leave if that's traditionally what we do, as long as parents give permission. So, it'll only be 9th graders in a small group. So we'll deal with that on an individual basis.
Okay. Will there be placement tests this summer for the incoming ninth graders for things like language and math?
It's in the letter, and they'll be optional, just like they were last year. They're
Okay.
only for students who, I mean, if you're taking Spanish in your elementary school for 8 years, yeah, you probably should take a placement test to see if you should start at a different level. It'll only be for students who want to take something other than Algebra 1 Advanced, which is our basic class. So
Okay.
yeah, I put that in the letter, and more information will come about that. We may do it virtually. We did last year, where we just give a self-assessment that students take at home.
Okay. Question about transportation and trans passes for ninth grade hybrid students. Will that be provided?
Yes, they will get SEPTA. They're working on that. Yes, SEPTA trans passes will be given. I'm
Okay.
glad Dr. Scott is on this call, my assistant principal, because that's one of her fun things she gets to work with.
How about a question about an effort to put siblings on the same hybrid schedule?
I'll make it happen. If we have twins, and we have multiple sets of twins in the ninth grade, so if they're twins and we'll make sure that they're on the same schedule. I can work with families. I think we'll have some leeway.
Okay.
Yeah, because I think our roster chair, who is Mrs. Van Buskirk, assistant principal, she can set that. So yeah, we can make that happen if it's family. Shouldn't be an issue. We actually have triplets, I believe, in the freshman class this year.
Wow. There's a question that says, can the schools request chart buses more than the 1 or 2 after school?
Charter buses, yeah, we have charter buses. We have multiple charter buses that leave at the end of the day. You know, that's something we can explore with SEPTA.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let me just scroll down here and see. Will freshmen have a choice of days to attend, or is it alphabetical?
It's not alphabetical. I believe it's just when we select what days they go. If it's an individual thing like that, just have the parents should just reach out to Nicole Van Buskirk.
Okay. That's it.
All right.
Thank you.
Well, it's been an interesting week. I can tell everyone on this call. I appreciate you being here tonight. I appreciate you. I appreciate everything this year. I appreciate our teachers. I appreciate our parents, and we're going to continue and to push and try to make this the best year we can for your children. It has been a struggle for all of us, and we're going to be back at Central. I promise you. Sorry for the 280 parents that are leaving us on this call, but the underclassmen and the juniors, we will be back at Central. We will be back up and running, and we're getting there. The light's at the end of the tunnel. All right, everybody, have a great night. Thank you.
Thanks. I know, Dr. Scott, you wanted to share your screen. Is that right? So let me give you
Yes.
access.
Okay, guys. Every year, while she's getting that, I think I might. Let me see if I can. Oh no. Every year we are required, because we get Title I funding, that's money from the federal government. We have to do a spring parent input meeting, which we go over our, I'm sorry, we go over some parent policies that, can you see that? Okay, we go over parent policies, and I don't want to start with this one. I'll start with this one. Parent policies that we actually, that are actually in your students' agenda book. And what it's mostly about is the first one, the school parent compact. And before I begin, let me introduce to you again Victoria Trower. She is our FACE representative, and she will be taking notes. So if you have any comments or things that you want to add to this policy and the next policy, just put it in the chat or you can come off mute and talk and say what you want to do. Generally, these things stay the same for the most part. Some of the things that I changed last year was the options of virtual. Now that we know how good virtual learning is in a way, but our virtual environment gives us more opportunities to get involved with parents and for parents to get involved with us. We're going to just go through the this handbook and not handbook, this policy, so you can see some of the things that we are saying that we will do with parents throughout the school year and next school year. So this is what we had last year, but this is basically saying we changed the dates and all. Generally, everything here is the same. This is from the Board of Education's guardrails, and we just put that in there. That's what they have established. The anchor goals and things, this may be taken out this year, but this is what we have been using this year. More than likely, we'll keep it in some way just so parents know what we are doing, the goals that we are trying to reach as a district as well as a school. So, somebody needs to mute.
Yeah, I don't have the ability to do that now because I'm not the host, so.
I got it.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. So here, I'm sorry. So basically here is the responsibility, the school and teachers' responsibility. This is a cookie cutter what all schools have. So I'm just going to go down to where we have some input in it. So the students, as parents' responsibilities, and now we talk about communication with student learning. So this is where we put some things in. So some of the things that I put in, and some of the things we put in, I don't know why she keeps coming off mute. Ms. Williams, you keep coming off mute for some reason, just so you know. So for communication about student learning, some of the things that we will do, we will constantly do communication with you. I think this year we've gotten a little better because of the fact that we're not in person. So robocalls have gone out, phone calls, not as much, unfortunately, because some teachers are, you know, kind of scared of using their personal lines and things like that. But when we're in school, that's when teachers will use the school's phone to call. We have emails have gone out. We make contact through parent portal or Infinite Campus, our central website. And I'll take an opportunity now to say, please check out the counselor's website. On the central website. It has been revamped, and there are a lot of tools and a lot of information about how you can get in contact with your child's counselor. There's pictures of them. Plus, they have a breakdown of everything from college to social emotional supports and things like that. So it's a good place to get a lot of good information now. So we also talk about, Mr. McKenna is big on social media. We have Google Classroom, teacher websites, Google Meets, and virtual platform. Is there any other communication that you would like us to do? We really don't have the capacity yet of doing text messages. It's always something we look at, but that can get kind of crazy. So if you can think of any other way that you need us to communicate with you, let us know.
Tracy, there was a comment posted about the idea for allowing families to select a preferred language and then have those documents or language line things get translated.
Okay. Are you writing that down for me, Victoria?
Yes.
Okay, all right. Yeah. Well, that might be. Yes, we'll do that. We also have, so you know, when you go to the counselor's website, we also have bilingual counselors for some languages. If you don't see the language that you speak there, you can let us know, let a counselor know, and we can get support from the FACE office, I believe it is, where some of the where there's a number of different bilingual assistants down there to help with meetings or anything like that. But we'll definitely look into translation as well. That's something we're working on as a school. Some of the students wanted us to do that as well. All right. So then activities and partnerships. We've having some workshops, and I'd like to thank those parents who came to our Naviance workshop. We'll have more of those we may have another one this year and more next year. So if there's any workshop that you want, just let us know. Parent conferences every year, back to school night, International Day is something. We didn't have it this year, which we missed so much. We have Career Day, different athletic and extracurricular activities, music, interviews, and this here, what I wanted to do is incorporate virtual opportunities wherever possible for all of these types of activities. So basically, that's the end of this document. Was there anything else that you all see in here that needs to be changed, or you would like to add to this document?
Dr. Scott, there was a suggestion about college fairs and prep. I know we used to have those also. I don't know how much of that went virtual this year.
Yeah, every year we did do the financial aid, and I believe they're doing, and I'm not sure if it's, I think it will be sent out to parents too, sometime at the end of the month, more information about college prepping for our undergrads. So while it's generally the 11th graders who are the most concerned, we also allow 9th and 10th grade parents to come on to learn information about where they should be, what they should be doing for their child for each year. Naviance is another area, another place where you'll find that. We talked about that at our last meeting we had on March 18th or March 24th, I think it was. But right now, the only way you can access that is through your child's portal. Next year, however, there will be a spot where parents on their parent portal will have access to Naviance, and you can find out about a lot of things on Naviance, like the process, trying to find the best fit for colleges, scholarships, a lot of things. And some of these things your students are doing already to prepare themselves, writing a resume and all these other things that they're required to do. So parents will be able to see that and also help their students in that process. But I will add the college information so it's in a more prominent place for you guys to talk. Also, like I said, on the counselor's website, they have extensive information about what each year parents should be doing to help to support their students as they move through the process of thinking about where they want to go to college and things like that.
Also, I'm sorry, AP Scott, the district has college fairs in the fall, and I did see that someone talked about that, but I wasn't sure if they were talking about at Central specifically, but the district did do that in the beginning of the year, and it looks like they're heading towards doing some sort of hybrid event. So next year, God willing, we'll be able to meet in person and go visit those places in person. But at the same time, you'll still have the luxury of doing virtual presentations and fairs and things like that. And then the other thing that I saw in the chat was that someone suggested a new parent orientation to go
Yeah.
into that
And
document.
I know that when we were allowed to be in person, we did that as part of the summer programming for new parents that included a variety of speakers and all sorts of sessions. But we actually last summer created all of that, and it ended up online on the main central website. So I would assume in the future we'll be back to in person, but we definitely do parent orientations.
Yeah, we've been discussing that a little bit. We're not sure of what our limitations will be, but
Yeah.
if we need to, in the past, it's been 4 days, I believe it was. We might have to expand the number of days that we have parents and students come into the building. We might, if it weather permitting, we might have to have some outside activities, things like that. So we are looking at a number of different ways to engage our parents. Another thing is next year, we have both our 9th and 10th grade classes that have never been into the building. So we need to find a way to provide both of those classes with opportunities to have some type of orientation or something like that. So we're looking into a number of different ways of how we can do that. Okay.
There was another question in the chat. It says, if my family initially opted for hybrid learning, can we do virtual for the remainder of this school year?
Yeah,
and do
these are
hybrid next
questions.
school year?
I think these are coming in, following up with what President McKenna presented.
Yeah.
So
So
I don't think that these are contributing to activities for
Yeah.
the review that Dr. Scott's running.
Do you know
Yeah.
that answer, Victoria?
Well, I only
I do.
mentioned
Oh.
it because I wanted to just, give some insight. In terms of what's going on next year, that's not even mapped out yet. So there is no, set on whether we are going to do hybrid or how that looks. I think the goal is to get every student back into the building, and they'll work vigorously over that over the summer to make that happen, but we won't know.
And for this year, I think there's always the option. I mean, they're not going to make you come into the building if you don't want your child to come into the building.
Yeah, the answer is that they're going to be sent a new link so that they will be able to remake that choice in the next week to determine if they want to go back or not.
Right.
And I know they haven't sent it out, but I thought it was supposed to be sent out, but the deadline, I believe, is the 27th of April for you to make that decision.
Yes.
Okay, let me move along. So now this is the parent and family engagement. And again, if your child has their agenda book, you can always look at these documents in there. If you see anything after I do this presentation, because I don't want to belabor all of this, just look at it. If you have any suggestions, you can email me. My email is on this the website. And just send me any information that you want to add or you think that needs to be represented in these documents. So all this is pretty standard information from the school district. So jointly developed, this is what we're doing tonight, that we jointly are developing this document so that any information you want to add or anything, we'll do it here. And it's telling us we have to do it every spring. So that's why we're doing it. Then it talks about involve parents throughout the year to in the development of any school-wide program. We generally send out information throughout the year. We try to hit more people during the home and school meeting. That's why we come here most of the time, because this is a place where we can find there's parents who are going to be here. So we truly appreciate you guys always being there to support us and to help us to make these documents. And then it talks about workshops. If there's workshops that you want, let us know. Victoria is the person, the workshop queen, and she will do these different workshops for you. We may have one more, right? So we'll look, we're looking into it, and we'll send it out to you via email once we decide the date of when that workshop will be. And in here, we talk about provide transition opportunities and orientation for freshmen and their parents. And that's what we do every year. Is there anything else that you wanted? And we say it's jointly because the home and school works with us to make sure that that's a success. So every year we have to do an annual meeting. And that meeting, sometimes we do it during back to school night, but generally we do it the first home and school meeting where we just go over some of the things, successes and activities and things that took place the prior year. And we talk about how we get 1%, 1% of Title I funds is set aside for parent involvement. Some of that money, a lot of that money we use now for the handbooks for our students. And that's why we put these documents in those handbooks so that we can pay for with the Title I money. This is like a communication, because in that handbook is a lot of information. The schedule for the year as far as the school district is concerned is in there. And then we try to add other information in there as well. Communication is our monthly home and school meetings, workshops. Like I said, I'll put in here, because we learned a lot from the pandemic. And one of the things, and you can let me know, and I can let President McKenna know, is that we felt that in some ways, the back to school night and the parent teacher conferences virtually kind of worked out pretty good for people. And we want to find ways of keeping that within our abilities moving forward. So that gives parents extra opportunity to meet with teachers, so they don't have to, come out if it's bad weather or things like that. So this is something. If there's other things that we've learned, please let us know, and we will add it to our document here.
Dr. Scott, I think we also had discussed that the home and school is also going to try and continue with the virtual aspect of its meetings.
Okay.
Because we feel like we're getting more attendance this way, and sometimes people can't make it in person. So we'll have to figure out how to do it, if we're there in person and also virtually, but that's part of our plan.
Okay, so I'll put that in there as well. Also, communication, same thing, email, social media, robocall, central website. Communication will be sent out in various language when available, and that is so that it's accessible to all parents. And like I talked about, the bilingual counseling assistants, they are here. Just recently, we had a Mandarin workshop for our Chinese parents, and it was on social, emotional, and mental health issues. And it was a very good event, and it was just this past Monday. So we sent some information out about that. So we just want parents to know that there are different opportunities. If there's a need, just let us know, and we will do our best to help you. It's generally me. I'm usually the parent person. So I like working with you guys. So just let me know if there's something you need, and I'll see what we can do to make it work. This will be in the handbook right here, just talking about where it's going to be located. We put it both on the website and in our handbook that we give to the students. Here, this information will change. This just talks about when our annual meeting is, that we change that. I will change here where it talks about the conferences and when our evening conference will be. We always have a winter meeting in which President McKenna will talk about the budget and anything that parents want to use money for or have input on what we should use the money we are given to help our students to be more successful in school. So it's always that opportunity. We do this at least 3 times a year where we have your input into things. And then coordination of services. This is just some of the different things that we have to offer. Tonight you will talk to our Tara Brown, who is our health room coordinator, and she will let you know about some of the things that are taking place there. Here's the same thing. This just talks about the different things, ways that we communicate, or different activities we communicate. We have the syllabi that teachers give out, parent-teachers meeting, and then throughout the year, we could have some of these things, a literacy night, math, technology, the financial aid, or the college prep and SAT information. So, and then the last thing is just the building capacity of the staff. Monthly parent selected professional development opportunities. A lot of times here, as you know, if you're here every month, we have different staff come in to talk to parents about opportunities. We've had Ms. Snyder for our IB. She talked about that. We have Ms. Van Buskert, who will go over the rostering. We have our counselors who will talk about Naviance or college information or mental health information. So we try to do as much as we can to support you guys. If there's anything that we are not doing that will that are meeting your needs, this is the time we want your input. So if there's anything else that you want to add to these documents, please let me know. And I think that's it. Anybody have any questions or anything? Okay, I'm gonna stop sharing. All right, thank you so much. We did get some input, so I truly appreciate that. You guys have a great evening. It's been a long day for me. And we'll see you soon.
Tracy, I don't have control back yet.
I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Hello.
Yes,
Can you hear me?
yes.
I actually have, I don't know if it's a question, but Trinity went to a college this year and they had monitors that were hooked up inside the classrooms for the kids who were virtual learning. So half of the kids were inside the classroom and half of them were in their dorms. And the kids who were on their dorms were on this massive size monitor inside the classroom. So the teacher was teaching to all of the kids at the same time with half the capacity. You mentioned the Title I money, and I don't know if that helps, but I thought that was pretty cool. And they've been able to stay open the entire school year.
Yeah, well, one of the things, the reason why our school pretty much couldn't open was that certain, our school is like really old.
Yeah.
Really old. So it's some of the air quality, things like that. So when our teachers go back into the building now, we'll be doing that where we have half the students in the building and half the students outside of the building. I don't know how, go ahead.
I'm sorry. It was just a suggestion for like your parent meetings and stuff. This is the first time I got an invite to one, which I thought was pretty cool.
Oh, okay. How did you receive it? From the email that went out?
Yeah, that's the first email I got. Oh, I mean, she's graduating now. So all of these resources, we kind of went about it by ourselves this year, but
oh, wow.
So we made it.
Just so you know, one of the problems that we have sometimes is we don't have everyone's email address.
Well,
And
that's what I
so,
figured. Yeah, I
yeah.
figured as much.
And
Yeah,
so,
I'm not on here complaining. I'm just saying for your
yeah.
parent meetings to make it easier, because I know I do work actually pretty close to Central, and a lot of the meetings didn't happen until 5 or 6 o'clock at night. And I have other kids, so I can't, it takes me an hour to get home, even with a car.
Yeah. So yeah,
'Cause
we are going to work that in now. Unfortunately, it's a little late for you.
not
Right?
necessarily, because I have an ongoing 8th grader who will
Oh,
be going
good.
into 8th grade, and she wants to go to Central too. So I'm not completely out of it.
Okay,
You know,
great.
I'm just thinking for those parent meetings upcoming, just food for thought. If you have money, you know, even if it's just one meeting room for like the parents who can't physically be there, and that way
Yeah.
you don't have to go through the whole recording more. It's just food for thought, suggestion. I don't know.
And we are working on that. So yes, thank you very much. That's something that we are looking to do.
All right.
Thank
Thank you. That was
You're
very
welcome.
helpful, guys.
You're welcome. Take care, everyone.
Okay, so we're going to move on now and hear from Tara Brown, who is the coordinator for the Health Resource Room, and she's going to review some of the services that are available in the Health Resource Room. Tara,
Hi.
there you are.
Hi, good evening, everyone. Can people hear me?
Yep.
Awesome, awesome. Thank you so much for inviting me into the space. It's really great to have an opportunity to talk to you all. So yeah, I run the Health Resource Room at Central. I have just taken over Central as a school of mine along with Girls High this past year. And the Health Resource Room offers various sexual health resources, education, counseling, safer sex tools, as well as any type of community health referrals that need to be made. I personally work for an organization called Family Practice and Counseling Network, but the actual program itself is funded under Access Matters, which is a really great reproductive health org based out of Center City. So the program itself runs as a drop-in center, and so we are located, I'm not super familiar with physically where we're at in the school, but it's a drop-in space where kids can come in and opt into the services. We encourage responsible choices and decision-making around sexual health and around well-being, and really push for critical thinking around those areas. A lot of the topics that we see folks coming in with revolve around healthy relationships. That's a huge one. Consent, birth control, abstinence, STIs. We have folks coming in with various questions around identity and orientation, and also within pregnancy as well. So our current programming is obviously not running as one-on-one counseling right now, but what we are offering students right now are workshops. And so I've been invited by Dr. Scott to come into the classrooms during advisory time to run workshops that are based on a 3 R's curriculum, which is a sexual health curriculum that is actually crafted for grades K to 12. And so I'll focus more on the high school folks with the 3 R's lessons. And those lessons do focus on sexual health, but run various different topics, including boundary setting, making schools safer for folks, decision making. And so a lot of really great skills that go along with sexual health. So I have some statistics from 2018, 2019, so they're a little old, and the program has grown since that time. But during that year, we serviced over 2,500 students at over 60 sites in Philadelphia. We've had just as many referrals onto different health services throughout the Philadelphia area, and dispersed 100,000 condoms to those youth. And so really huge and impactful program throughout the Philadelphia public school system. So yeah, I think one of the bigger things too, and wanted to talk with you all, is that we really do encourage parental involvement. Although the services themselves are confidential, one of the huge mainstays of the program is to make sure that youth have a safe person to talk to these things about. It can be really stigmatizing to talk about it with older folks sometimes, and I think it's great that they have a safe space within Central, but they also really need to have a safe space and a safe person at home. And so we really do promote guardian participation, essentially. And yeah, and so that's why I'm just really, really excited to actually be able to talk to you about this program in this space. Obviously, things will look a lot different once we're back in schools, but I'm really excited about hosting these workshops and getting to see some of your kids because I have not had that chance yet. So I'm really excited. But yeah, I'd love to open up the floor for any questions for me about the program, if anyone has anything.
I'm just thrilled that you joined us. I had no idea this program existed. I did also get your paperwork flyer that you shared with Dr. Scott. So after this meeting, just so you know, these are all recorded, and then we post the recording and any other relevant materials alongside the recording on our home and school website. So I'll make sure that that PDF file gets posted.
Awesome. Thank you for that. Yeah, and it's just it's going to summarize and just go a little bit more in depth of what I was talking about. Fun fact, actually, Central was the first school to have this program back in, I think 1991 is when it started. So yeah, Central is the longest standing health, or has the longest standing health resource center, which is really great. But I think you make a really good point that a lot of folks don't necessarily know that their services are there. You know, there's so many things that are going on in school, and a lot of students have to actually focus on academic things. But I think it's great because they can also learn from their parents that these resources are there too.
Yeah, great.
Yeah.
Is the service that you offered when it is back in person? I know you said it's drop-in, but if it becomes something that's more complicated, is it also appointment scheduled?
Yes, we definitely help the student along with any type of referrals around health services that they may need, for sure. In the actual center itself, we do offer pregnancy testing, but if folks need like any STI testing, any other physical health issues that they're experiencing, we help navigate the processes and getting them set up with appointments.
Great, thanks.
Yeah, for sure.
Any other questions for Tara?
I will actually include my information. I just put it in the chat, both my email and my phone number if folks want to reach out. And I do see the question from Michael, at what point are parents made aware that their child is involved in the service? So actually that's a really great point to bring up, Michael, because of HIPAA confidentiality, I cannot actually disclose if your child came to me for services. If your child somehow wanted to have like a group conversation and invite you into the space, that's for sure something that can happen. But actually letting folks know that wouldn't be something that the program would do because the services are one-on-one and confidential with the youth. There is I will say this, that there is an opt-out feature within this program, a letter that is offered to parents who don't want their student to participate in the program. So that is an option. But we really do think that this is a really great resource for folks in the ways that they can come to us and really be able to explore some of the harder issues when it comes to talking about sexuality, when it comes to high school things. Oh, thanks, Allison. Thank you. Thank you all for, I know your responsibilities this year have just exponentially grown within this homeschooling state. And so I really do commend you all for really sticking to it and really just being so involved.
I have a quick question, if you don't mind.
Sure.
So I've read a lot of articles lately that have said, like, after COVID, you know, teenagers are like going to let loose, so to speak. Like, everybody's so excited to see each other. And like, I have 2 teenage boys, so I'm really talking a lot to them about that. Like, are you addressing that with the kids? And if so, like how? Or can you give us, or maybe post in the chat, a guide to like how to talk to them? Because every article says it's going to be mayhem with like 16 to 22-year-olds are going to go crazy. I don't know if you've heard that, but I definitely want to get on that.
Yeah, I heard just even the era for everyone being called like the new roaring 20s. Like everyone's just gonna, whoa, like everybody's busting out of their shells. And yeah, the teenagers I think are gonna do that 2 times as much, right? And so I think so with these 3-hour workshops, I think it's a really great time to be able to implement that. It was tough because the program actually wasn't approved to do workshops until kind of late in the year. And so I think within some of the topics of the workshops for sure that will be addressed. I think it's really great I think so during the summer we offer some Safer Summer programming. And so if there were other like programming that was happening within the school during the summer, we could probably partner up in that respect too. But I think a lot of it is just kind of gearing up for them to come back into the school, right? And so making sure that we have, that folks know that we're there and that they know that the resources that are there as well. I think a big part of that is also going into the classroom spaces when they come back too. And central staff has been really open to being collaborative within that respect. Yeah, I think this summers we're definitely going to see some part of it. So I'm hoping between the times that I'm able to get in there, we can kind of talk it over. Yeah. Any other questions? Sorry, you might hear my dogs fighting in the background. If there are any other follow-up things, my contact information is definitely in the chat. And I'd love to come back if you have any specific topics that you'd like me to talk about, like if it was around birth control or sexual orientation or STIs, I'd love to do like special topics presentations for you all too.
That's great.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
And thank you again for
so
inviting
much.
me. Yeah, thank you so much, y'all.
Okay, next up is home and school business. I wanted to make sure everyone knew, as sad as that is to announce, that this slide is actually not accurate, but we do have one position open next year because the fabulous Deb Cunningham is going to be leaving as she has her last child as a senior. So we are going to need people to come forward and look at that as an opportunity to join the home and school and run the communication program. I know Deb is available to answer questions, and if anybody has any questions, please send her a note. The responsibilities are primarily to coordinate with the different class year reps to make sure that those monthly updates happen for this meeting, and also to be a sort of solid voice on the Google group in terms of knowledgeable about the information that people are asking about or discussing. But that role is also supported by me as the president. And I can tell you that between the two of us, we don't have all the answers, but if we don't have them, that we do get them. So if this is something that you're interested in, please let us know. And just a note that the secretary comment up there is a mistake because graciously, Leslie, I shouldn't say that. I mean, she's agreed to stay on because she has kids that are not graduating. So she's going to be around with us for at least another year, and we're happy about that too. So that's enough about next year, but please make sure that you throw your hat into the ring if you're interested. Next up, we have treasurer's report, which looks a lot like last month.
Yes, that's all it looks like. Looks like last month. Pretty quiet activity, so not much to report here.
All right, thanks, Nina. And then fundraising. Robin?
Hi, everyone. Not too much to update on fundraising, except that, we did get the computers. We did get an update from Tim, and he indicated that they were able to order approximately 85 computers for the school. He was looking to get 110, but is thrilled with the 85. I think that's that was between the money that we had raised, as well as some alumni support that he had gotten and some money in his budget. So overall, extremely successful for us to be able to, support the school. And, we're still accepting donations if you want to, and we are working with Tim now to kind of identify some of the things that they're going to need for next year. All right, and perhaps even, as we're opening up in May. So he's going to kind of get us a list of things. We'll probably send out, a call for donations in order to help us support the school opening up in May, and then of course for next year as well. Potentially doing some mixers over the summer, a lot of ideas that he has. So we're looking forward to next year, looking forward to an auction next year, looking forward to a little more fun next year. So, and there will probably be a spiritware. We're going to continue to work on getting a second round of spiritware out, particularly for the new freshmen. And as always, just thanks everyone for your support. It was amazing this year to see all the donations that we did get.
Awesome. Thanks, Robin.
Mm-hmm.
Rachel, who is part of the Anti-Racism Network, wanted to say a few words, give us an update.
Hi, thanks, Heidi.
Yeah.
Hello. I've mentioned this previously. We've been meeting all year, once a month on Sundays at 4 p.m. Our next meeting is May 2nd at 4 p.m. We'd love to have you if you're interested. On the HSA website, you'll find a link to join our list. And if you join the list, you'll get the Zoom link for the meeting. And you can also see our mission statement, which was one of the things we did this year, was write a mission statement. We've been meeting with different members of the community who are involved in anti-racism efforts, and we've been learning about what they're doing. We're continuing to meet with more people. On Monday, we actually had a really lively and wonderful conversation with President McKenna. We learned a whole lot about what's going on through him. And one of the things I'll just mention is that at our next meeting, we're going to be discussing recruitment and how to attract BIPOC students, how we really reach out in a way that attracts and draws people to our school. So we have a more diverse community. So that's one of the conversations we'll be having. That's building on what President McKenna was expressing to us and what was sharing with us. So we're kind of building on what we learned from him. So if you want to join us, please do. We'd be glad to have you. That's it.
Okay. Thanks, Rachel.
Mm-hmm.
So this is just a reminder that we make every month. These are our current committee chairs. As I mentioned, Deb is going to be leaving us after this year. But if you have any interest in getting involved with any of these committees, please be sure to reach out and let those committee heads know that you have some time to give. I'm sure they'd be thankful to hear from you. And now we'll move into class updates. So 280.
Sorry about that. Okay. So leadership is working on the graduation details. Mr. McKenna, or President McKenna, gave us an update on that. If anybody wasn't joined late and didn't hear that, they are in the process of moving graduation from the Mann Center to LaSalle Stadium, which would actually give us more room. They're also working on a senior celebration / gathering, probably late May. Somebody just came and asked about the lawn signs. I should have a design in the next day or two up on the listserv and on the Facebook page. And I'll also have Miss Kincaid posted in the 280 Google Classroom. And then the district has announced that they're gifting the caps and gowns to graduating seniors. We don't know what that looks like yet. We don't know how families will be reimbursed. And can we donate the reimbursement to CHS? Absolutely. You can donate anything you want to CHS. They will always take the money. But as we get details on what that looks like, we'll communicate that to families. And there's really not much more. I'm sure that keep an eye on your email. Have your students keep an eye on the Google Classroom, because right now is when it all starts, when they'll start getting, this is when you have to get your yearbook. This is when you have to get your cap and gown. This, all of those dates. Just have them keep an eye on that 280 Google Classroom.
Awesome. Thanks, Deb. 281, do we have anybody on? Penny, I think you're on, or Ashley?
I'm definitely on. I haven't talked to Ashley or Mr. Horowitz for a little while. We've had some email exchange. So this is an update from him about the Young Alumni Speaker, virtual game day, and some other things that are going on. I'm trying to get a call to see maybe if there's an opportunity to try and get the class together at some point. But we were supposed to talk today and it didn't happen. So I'm hoping, maybe we can put something together that's, somewhere, and just to do some sort of not like junior prom thing, but some sort of, hey, let's get together in a safe environment and see each other. Because I know some of the kids have started to reach out and see each other, and they're obviously not going back to school this year. So I just thought maybe we can try and do something like that. So we're really, it's been a quiet year for 281, unfortunately. And I think everybody's independently doing what they need to do, but it's time to try and bring us back together and at least figure out what we can do to do that, and then foster, you know, these kids for next year and see what happens there. So not much to report, sorry.
That's okay. Appreciate you trying to collect whatever you can. Thanks. 282, I actually pulled this from Lisa's update that she put out into the parents Google group. I don't know, Lisa, if she's on or not, but
She's not, she couldn't come today.
okay. All right. So this is, you know, essentially some of the same stuff that was in the 281 update with the Young Alumni Speaker Series and the virtual game day coming in May.
And just a really quick interject that there on the previous slide, it said that see attached. There was a flyer, and I will post that in the Google group. I will post it on Facebook. I put a link in the chat, but I think it only allows me to link it to you, Heidi, as the host, and it doesn't allow me to give it to the group.
Okay, but we can also post it up on the website.
Okay.
And then you can
I'll email it to you then.
Okay.
That one we'll figure it out.
Okay.
But it's actually a really cool kind of it's a 278 alum who is at Penn. So it's about how to apply to Penn. What does it look like to be a student at Penn? That kind of thing.
Oh, okay. All right, great. And then 283.
Yeah, I'm here.
I do.
You want me to do it?
Doing it? I thought it was my turn, but you go.
I can't remember, honestly. It doesn't matter. Either one of us. We're both here.
You're up.
Not a ton going on. Just a community activity building day today, and then the hiking club. There's 31 kids that expressed the interest. It's something that a parent came up with the idea, Sarah, mostly because the kids, the ninth graders, they really don't know a lot of the other kids, and it's something they could do outside, you know, socially distanced, somewhat safe. So that's what we're trying to do, and we're going to try to get one scheduled this week.
Cool.
Scheduled, like, not that it'll be this week, but scheduled so that the kids know when it's going to be.
I see. All right, great. Thank you, both of you. Okay, so we have one meeting left this year on May 12th. So I hope that for all of you that are parents of sophomores, juniors, and seniors, I don't even know if the sophomore parents remember this, but we used to do a potluck. We used to get together and try and have some fun at our last meeting. I don't see that happening this year, unfortunately, but it would be great to see everybody at the next and last meeting and you know, share some plans, maybe find a replacement for Deb, and, you know, get ready to head into the summer. So we look forward to seeing you all. Here's just a list of some of the upcoming dates that might have school closed. There's 3 in May, and I know this question came up earlier, but the last day for students is June 11th. So not much more to go. Hope that all your kids are hanging in there. And we'll see you next month. So thanks very much, everybody, for your participation, and we'll talk to you soon.
Thank you, Heidi.
Thank you.
Thanks, Heidi.
Thank you.